Hello, and welcome to this Track Wrestling help video. Here at Track Wrestling, we're committed to helping our tournament directors run great events, and so one thing that we want to take a look at in this video today is how to make a bracket change should that situation come up so that you feel confident and prepared if that should happen at your tournament. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at our weight classes page here. We'll see that brackets are already built. But the coach for this 106-pound wrestler, Daniel Ash, just came up to the head table and let us know that he should be in the 113 bracket. So we're going to have to move him and get that corrected. So the first thing that we'll want to do is go ahead and check the bracket to make sure that no matches have been wrestled yet and that these matches are not yet assigned. Because if they had been wrestled or if they are not yet assigned and we redraw this bracket, it's going to eliminate any results that have already been saved, or if there's already bouts that are in the middle of competition on the mat right now, it's not going to let those results save correctly. And so we want to make sure before we make any changes that this bracket's not started yet. So we'll just pull it up here and make sure that there's no saved results yet. Looks like the only advancements here are buy, so that's perfect. And then we'll just double check on the bout detail page to make sure that none of these matches are assigned yet, and they aren't, so we're good to make this change. So from here, we'll go to the participants page and we'll search for Mr. Ash. If you needed to search for him, you can click on the search button here, but since he's already right here at the top of the list, we're just going to click into his name, and then we'll update his weight class here. From there, once we click save, it's going to come up with our bracket change module here, which will give you several questions on how to handle this situation to make sure that everything falls into the right place. So the first questions here are the bracket that we're removing him from. So we have the option to say whether or not we want it to change the bracket type if needed. One thing to note with this is the system is only able to change the bracket type to bracket types that have already been added to your tournament. So in this case, I do want it to change because this is going to move this from 17 wrestlers and a 32-man to a 16-man, which I already have added. But if you needed to add a different bracket type, you can do so by clicking on the left menu and then bracket types to make sure you get that added in. The next question is what we want to replace the wrestler with, a buy or a forfeit. In this case, I'm going to say a buy. And then you have options on if you want to redraw the bracket. You can choose non-seeds, everyone or no one, or if you wanted to shift people up, you have the option to choose that again with seeds, everyone or no one. And then the next set of questions will come into the bracket that we are adding him to. So how do you want to handle this situation? I want the system to automatically make this change for me. It does have my permission to change the bracket type if needed, but since it's already a 32-man bracket, that's not going to be necessary. We can choose Daniel's seed here if we needed to. From either last available seed, which would be the last one that's not already assigned, or we could choose it from the list here. I'm not going to seed him because he was not seated in the bracket ahead. And then you have the opportunity to select that same question on how you want the bracket to withdraw or to redraw. Once you have all of those settings where you want them, you can click on finish. It's going to ask you to type finish just to confirm that you have everything correct. Because once a bracket change is done and these brackets are redrawn, there's no easy way to undo this. So you want to make sure that you have the correct settings selected. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. It might take a minute to process through those changes here. And then we'll see it refresh to Daniel's page here. So from here, we'll just want to go to weight classes and see that we have him added in here to the 113 weight class. From there, we can go back to the main weight classes page, and we'll see that it did go ahead and change that bracket type on the 106, and that the wrestler count changed on 113 because he's now added in there. So before we reapply our number scheme, it's just good to take a look at the bracket and make sure everything is looking the way you would expect it to. We're going to pull this up, and I see him added in here, which is perfect. So then the last step would be to go ahead and reapply your number scheme. Whenever you make changes to a bracket, it does remove number schemes that were already applied. So in this case, I didn't have a number scheme added or applied yet, but if we had already applied number schemes for the tournament, the two brackets that we just redrawn are not going to be numbered. So you'll want to make sure that you always reapply the number schemes after making changes. I'm going to add a number scheme in here real quick, and then we can apply that. And then the last thing we'll do is go to the bout schedule page, look at that bracket and make sure we see bout numbers, and the 113 bracket we sure do, as do we on 106. So this change was made correctly and everything is good to go to start this tournament. If you had any questions about how to make changes in a predefined tournament or anything else regarding your event on Track Wrestling, please go to the support tab here in the upper right hand corner. This will take you to our knowledge base that has all of our help articles and resources, as well as give you the contact information to get in touch with our support team should you have questions. We're always glad to assist. Thank you for watching this Track Wrestling help video, and best of luck with your tournament.